All right, welcome to this week's vlog. Just trying to get my camera straightened out here where it looks good. So hills, and more hills. So I'm definitely getting the hills down to a 9-minute pace because, as you know, Ironman Chattanooga is in a couple weeks, and you're definitely looking at some hills for the bike and hills for the run. It's a 2-loop course, and that's 13.1. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it's like 58 on a 2-loop course, which is like Chattanooga. It takes you over to Alabama, Lookout Mountain, a couple of different areas. So yeah, definitely just got done with the run. Looking at an hour and 2 minutes, about a 9-minute pace for 6 miles. Not a bad day. So definitely want to go through this vlog and update you a little bit on my training schedule. It's a little different than it's typically been. So Monday is a run, Tuesday is a swim, Wednesday is a, Wednesday's a run, Thursday is a long bike and a run, a brick workout, and then Friday is a run, and then Saturday, when I do my long bike on Thursday, Saturday is typically a long run, and then Sunday will be a long run. Now I just want to catch up real quick on my training. That way, if it's your first Ironman, it's definitely a nice and easy, slow transition, because typically a lot of folks run, or a lot of folks bike, a lot of folks swim, and they'll just transition into all three. Basically, the way I got into it was I always ran, did 5Ks, did marathons, and then I just needed a little bit more. But yeah, this week's vlog is gonna be on fear. Nobody likes to talk about fear, about what you're afraid of, or what you have anxiety about. So it's just been on my heart. So after this video, I will have 2 videos to upload, last week's video and then this week's video. So I just wanted to touch on fear. A couple of things, I deal with and I push through, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Control what you can control. Control the controllables. If you can't control it, then it's not important. I mean, you got your work. I've talked to people about work, not about my work, but about, other jobs and downsizing and the economy and prices rising, which we all feel it a little bit. We feel that pinch. But I tell them, I'm like, push through, be positive. You don't know what's going to happen. You just believe, that they're going to have a job, or if their job downsizes, then they find something, different within a certain amount of time. Then that way it doesn't interrupt, their family, or their life. So that would be, I'd say, fear number 1 would be the marketplace, the job place. And then I would say fear 2 would be life. I mean, I'm a Christian. I believe 110% of where I'm going. But if any Christian's saying, oh no, I'm not afraid of death, everybody's afraid of death, I feel like. But I just feel like when it is my time to go, the good Lord does know our date that we're born and the date we're gonna die. I just pray that He hears me, and mine's like with a blink of an eye, like most people want to go, or in your sleep and you wake up in heaven. So that would be fear number 2, would be the fear of dying. but I don't feel like I'm gonna die anytime soon. I feel very healthy. I know I'm not promised tomorrow. I get that. So I do, you know, count my blessings. You know, I was talking to my son. He's older, you know, living a, you know, a hard life that, you know, he chose. And he's got a lot of stuff going against him. And I told him, I said, just on the phone, just a few minutes ago, running, I said, Bryant, do you have the air in your lungs and you're alive? I said, trust me, son, somebody has it a lot worse than you do. And he's like, yeah, I know. I was like, no, trust me, right around the corner, somebody is dealing with things a lot harder than you got right now. So yeah, number 2 will be the fear of not being here. Number 3, my goodness, this is one I face every stinking day, is the fear of like making it to that race. Doing all your training exactly the way you planned it to be, exactly as much as you planned it to be, and try to find that sweet spot where it's not too much, it's not a little bit of training, it's not a lot of training, it's that just right spot that you're looking for. I look back over my other training plans and I was like, I don't remember training this much. So I know the fear of race day is upon us, but at the same time, you could train little. Like I hear people all the time in races, oh, I didn't train that much. You know, I only got to run, you know, once or twice or rode my bike. And they're doing a full sprint, a full triathlon sprint. And I'm like, I wish I had that mindset. And I don't know how good they did or how bad they did. But me, I'm like, train, 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 train. I don't want to show up for a marathon and never run a day in my life and expect to complete the marathon. But I think some people have done that. So I don't think I could do it. I don't think I have the mental capability of doing it. So my mindset is train like I've been training, you know, 10 plus hours a week. That's 40 hours a month. And if I'm doing, say, 4 months, that's 160 hours that I've trained, that I've put into this. And I feel like on race day, everything could go perfect. The stars could align. You could place in your age group, which is what every age grouper would like to do, or like I said, become pro. Whatever is your heart's little desire. Mine would just be to place, then that way I can get my ticket to Kona. So I'm looking at a sub 10 in my age group. I'm in the 46 to 49 age group, so I feel like it's gonna be definitely a little easier, because I feel like my training mindset, I'm in my 40s. So my fear would be to show up and just not have a great race day. You know, you think about your bike, oh, this could happen, that could happen. No, just shut it down, forget about it, and keep it moving. Or you could be running, like I was running, I think the other day, and I think I slipped on like a curb or something, and my ankle like bent. And I'm like, I've seen people's ankle bend just like that and then swell up like a size of a softball on the side of their leg from, you know, spraining their ankle. I'm not interested in that. I want to train safely. I want to recover safely, and I want to make it to the race line in Ironman Chattanooga. It's like September 23rd, I think, something like that. Don't quote me, you have to go to the website and check it out. But that's one of many fears, is doing all this training and then getting hurt. You can defer the race, but at the same time, I don't want to defer the race. I've done all this training for this training block, and I want to do well, and I'm incorporating nutrition. I'm doing the goos. I actually bought something from a running store, but it's from Ironman. I want to try that, see how my body reacts to it, because I know it'll be on the course, and I never want to deviate from my nutrition while I'm on a race course, because they could have any and everything and you've not used it, and you're, like I said before, your stomach's not going to like you. So I would say definitely one of my fears would be showing up and, you know, not finishing the race. Or I thought about this other day, showing up and being late, or forgetting to set an alarm clock, because that night you don't go to bed till like 1, 2 o'clock, and then you sleep solid for 3 or 4 hours, and alarm clock not go off, and wake up and they're getting out of the water. Then what are you gonna do? You've completely missed the race. Now, of course, people have many alarm clocks, and they set their alarm clocks, and you know, everything is great. So I would say, in a nutshell, the last thing and most thing I shouldn't think about is, you know, the fear of just not making it to the race. Like I said, a lot of people don't like to talk about fear. I want to talk about things that affect me and that are on my mind, and that, you know, one person could watch this video, you know, out of the few subscribers that I have and the few watches that I have, and they see this video and are like, man, he's doing it, he's training, he's knocking it out, he's gonna make it to Ironman Chattanooga, and you know, everything's going great and everything's blah blah blah. And that's what social media wants you to believe. But I feel like the more real I can be on this channel, the more folks that'll tune in and see that I'm not that I'm a fake person. I'm real, and I'm not shy, and I'm cut and dry, and I just put myself out there. Probably shouldn't do that, but hey, it's about helping that one person, and that's what my goal in the social media success is about. The money, the fame, all that stuff will come later. Mine is just, like I said, touching that one person, that it'll help them with their triathlon journey, whether it be a sprint or a Ironman, you know, or a half Ironman. And I'd say my last and final fear would be, I kind of went through it. You're at the swim and you're waiting to go in the water, you're waiting your turn, they're like, this cap, this color cap, this cap, this color cap, and you're like, man, when are they gonna call my cap? So finally they call your cap, and you're going into the unknown. Now, of course, I did the race, I placed first in my age group, and then I also placed first overall in the whole series. They give you a first place medal, they give you like a little certificate saying, you know, you got first place in your age group, which is all great. But I do remember, you know, the storm just came through, people are running down the beach. And when I mean running down the beach, they're in the water, but they're running down the beach in the water. The sandbar is that high. And then once you get past the do not swim buoys, that's where you can swim, and you almost touch the ocean floor when you're swimming. It's only like 4 feet of water. Didn't see anything. I mean, I feel pretty safe, pretty confident, you know, when I'm swimming in the ocean like that. But you just don't, the fear is not knowing. That's what the biggest fear is. That's what you have to battle and face. And then you get out of the water and you're trying to be careful. You're trying not to cut your foot, because I felt like I stepped on something. Then I got caught in a fishing net, and I'm just like, man, I am not having a good day. But I got out of the swimming in like 8-9 minutes. I was happy. Ran and got my bike in transition like 2 minutes, and then got on the bike, got on the course, got going. It was super bumpy, so I was like a little cautious, you know, on the bike course. Pushed as hard as I could, and then came back, put the bike up, come in super fast, stop, chain popped off. Now I'm like man, is something wrong with my bike? I'm like freaking out. Is something wrong with my bike? Something wrong with my bike? And it just, the chain popped off. I think the big gear guide was over too far. So when I went over the bike mount line, or the bike mount tracker system, it's like a little small hump, and I think it just bounced up and knocked the chain off. But when I got done with the race, put it back on, everything was fine. So dropped my bike off, and then I'm running a little fast. I'm running about a 7-minute pace, and then my side starts hurting. I'm like, man, am I even gonna be able to finish the race? And then I start worrying about that. And then of course I finished the race, hour and 6 minutes, first in my age group. The second guy was like an hour and 9, and then the third guy was like an hour and 10 or 11. So they weren't even close to me. But I pushed myself, and that's what counts. I tucked my fear away. Everybody's gonna have fear. You're gonna have to face your fears and just show up to a race. If you're the new guy or new gal at the race and you don't have the greatest stuff, guess what? The first fear you conquered was showing up to the race and getting it done and doing the best that you can do. So thank you for watching this vlog. That's all I got on my heart about fear, but it's really been on my heart for a couple of days now to get on here and just lay it out as good as I can, express it, and be passionate about what I'm talking about and how I feel, to help you get to that next start line. I'll see you in the next vlog.